If you watched our last video, you know that we rode our bikes 70 miles across northwest Arkansas. We had so much fun that we decided this week we would ride our bikes from one side of Iowa to the other.
With 20,000 of our friends.
It's day 1 of 7. We've gotten up, we've packed our tent down, so we've officially camped in State 21. But the last thing to do before we hit the road today is write on our legs.
So apparently if it's your first time riding Ragbrai, you're supposed to write a V on the back of your calves for virgin. I feel silly.
It is 6:30 a.m. on the dot on Sunday. Today we have 53 miles to go. Welcome to Ragbrai, the Register's annual great bike ride across Iowa. The Register is the newspaper in Des Moines. This is the 49th year that thousands of bikers will be riding from the west side of the state to the east side, where we'll dip our tires in the mighty Mississippi. The route changes every year, but over the next 7 days, we'll be tent camping across the great state of Iowa as we ride 462 miles from Sergeant Bluff to Lansing.
The first pedals, here we go.
We had a lot of emotion starting day 1, but mostly it was just a lot of excitement until we ran into our first unexpected interruption. I'm so confused on where we are. Oh, here goes everybody.
We didn't make it too far before we got our first railroad crossing.
Someone going that way, someone going that
The train just stopped. Look at all of these people.
Here we go. The people of Sergeant Bluff sent us on our way with happy cheers, waves, and smiles. This is cool. Then, between miles 2 and 3, we rode a mile of silence for members of the bike community that have passed away. This was a really neat way to start our ride and established a camaraderie among the thousands of riders that we would continue to experience all week long.
Welcome to Iowa. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, we have fun yet?
Oh yeah.
Yes. I don't know if you guys remember our Texas video when we drove through Hereford, Texas.
Hereford, Texas, the beef capital of the world, smells like one giant cow patty. Oof. Let's get on the road.
It smells so bad. It's starting to smell like that here. I hope that stops very soon. Wow, look at that view. Our first stretch was a very flat 8 miles to the first town of Bronson.
We just made it to the first town.
It is not even 8 a.m. There's pie, there's drinks, there's really great smelling breakfast food. It was here that we realized we did not bring any cash and none of the vendors took card. Basically, no cash equals no water. Bring cash if you do this. Anyway, we're about to jump back on. After the first town, we were feeling pretty good. And that's when we realized that Iowa is not flat. The hills. Today we'll climb more feet of elevation than almost every other day by quite a bit. So, just gotta make it through today.
We're on our first little hill out of Bronson, our first town. Waking those legs up. But I can see the downhill from here.
I have no idea where TJ is. We walked up a really steep hill and he jumped back on his bike as soon as we got to the top. But I was talking to some new friends from another part of Arkansas and I have no idea where he is. I'll find him eventually. For now, I'm enjoying the downhill.
That was a huge downhill. That was so fun, but kind of scary at the same time. Everybody was going so fast.
Our first decent uphill. So, where everybody stopped back there?
Yeah.
Did you stop?
Yeah.
No.
You rode right past me. I could have reached out and
Didn't
grabbed
see it
you.
at all. Alright, we just stopped at the top of this hill and this kind family outside of their house has their hose out so you can refill your water bottle, which is awesome because we couldn't do that in Bronson because we didn't have cash, so bring cash if you do this. TJ's got our waters. He's trying to cross back over the road to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I just realized halfway up that last hill, I was like, man, it seems like everybody has more gears than I do, and that's really nice for them, but duh, I haven't been using any of my big gears. So we got another steep one here in just a second. We'll see if that helps, if I actually use all the gears on my bike. After 20 miles of some pretty big hills, we met my dad in Anthon, which was our lunch stop for the day. We made it to the meeting town.
We made it.
Of Anthon, so now it's time to get lunch. And how was the first half, TJ?
I'm feeling pretty good. I thought it was good. The only thing is there are some serious rolling hills. A lot of people walking their bikes up, including us.
Including us, yeah. So these towns that we come through are really small, and thousands of people just invade them for just a few hours. It is bumper to bumper with the support vehicles and bikes and people, and we're walking downtown to find the food trucks.
We're parked right across the street from this old vintage car. Check it out.
All right, we're back on the bikes after lunch. Had a great lunch stop, and we got a lot of hills between here and Ida Grove, but we only have like 27, 28 miles until then, so here we go. Every day during Ragbrai, there's the town you start in and the overnight town that you are biking towards all day. Somewhere about halfway in the middle is what they call the meeting town, and this is where most people eat lunch. In between those major towns are a bunch of smaller towns, and there's different vendors for breakfast options in the morning and snack options in the afternoon, but the support drivers are only allowed in the overnight towns and the meeting towns in the middle of the day. Which brings us back to what we learned earlier. If you want anything to eat or drink between the start of your day and lunch, or between lunch and the overnight town, pack cash. Also, if you don't have a support driver to meet you at those bigger stops, pack lots of cash. I'm pretty sure I just got stung by a bee. It hurts so freaking bad. Okay, I gotta stop. Stopping.
Stopping?
I think I just got stung by a bee.
What happened?
I got stung by something. It really hurts. Oh, dang.
Yep. Right there. I bet that hurt.
Oh, yeah. It just feels like somebody just like took a needle and was like,
Yep.
it's okay. It just really stung, literally. It's like, it obviously hurts right there, and then it just like spread. Which really stings because it killed our downhill momentum.
I just feel like this is like the most Iowan shot of you right now, next to the hay bale and the cornfield. Welcome to Iowa.
Back on. TJ's killing it on these hills. I'm not. We also learned on the first day that between all of the towns there are different vendors along the side of the road in people's front yards and at different pull-offs. They're selling everything from ice cream and snacks to water and Gatorade, but out of fear that we wouldn't make it to the overnight town on time, we didn't stop at any of these on our first day. We got these energy bites from this stand. Yeah, peanut butter, oatmeal, coconut, honey, chocolate chips. They're really good.
For those of you not from Iowa and wonder what the Iowa landscape looks like, it is just rolling hills for as long as you can see, at least today. How's that applesauce?
It's a little warm, but it's good.
Yummy.
After another 20 miles of hills, we hit our last stopping town before the overnight town. Here in Battle Creek, we filled our waters at a PVC water station, which would soon become our best friend in every town for the next 6 days.
So am I. I look like I'm just trying to put my face in your water. If you dumped that on me, I would not be mad.
Got some water. We have like 7.5 more miles left.
The water PVC pipe situation like that is pretty genius. Thanks Battle Creek for doing that.
Much to our relief, the hills flattened out after Battle Creek, and we made our way 7.5 miles down the road into the overnight town of Ida Grove.
It's like somebody turned off the hills. It's pretty flat on this side of Battle Creek, but the thing is that, like, we're going uphill, but it's just ever so slight. So you're pedaling the whole time. I still take this over the steep hills though. It is nice to come down the other side.
I think that was the last incline of the day. I can see the town, I can see the van and the tent. We're almost there. Wow.
We are coming into our first overnight town, Ida Grove.
Main road to your right.
Thank you. This whole town is like castle themed.
Is it what?
Castle themed.
Yeah. When we arrived, we met up with my dad, who had already set up the tent for the night. Yes, you can call us spoiled. Great day overall. Now we're making dinner.
Here, Grill Master.
It's like another huge bonus of having a support vehicle is being able to cook our own food so that we don't have to buy it all the time, because it's pretty pricey, but it's really good. Then we met new friends and experienced a true but rare Ragbrai luxury, taking showers in the super nice school locker room, all before doing some laundry in the sink before bed.
All right, so we have to wash our bike shorts in the sink for the next day because they're gross. And I just want you guys to look at this water. This water is like half a finger thick, and there's a drain right here, and you can't see it. It's so like murky. You can even see my finger right underneath the water line. That's gross.
Okay, day one recap. I thought this would be really fun to just be able to look back on, but also people ask us so many questions before we left that hopefully this can be part of answering those questions. Today was so much fun. I told TJ in the last little meeting town before we got here, I was like, I'm having so much fun, and I'm really glad. It's kind of crazy to think that like we're gonna do this for 6 more days, but it's been a blast. Everyone's been super nice, and I'm so thankful. This guy rode past me this morning, and I was walking my bike up a hill, and he saw the V's on the back of my legs, and he said, V is for victory, you're doing great. And I just thought that was really, really kind. And like, that's just a picture of like how it's been. My lower back hurts. I did get stung by a bee today. It's fine. It's not like that big of a deal in the grand scheme of all of this. Today was incredibly hilly.
Whoever said that Iowa is flat has never done Ragbrai. First like 10 miles or so are kind of rough, you know, getting my legs back into cycling.
We did have a lot of climbing.
We were doing rolling hills all the way up into Battle Creek, which was about 8 miles from here, Ida Grove. And so I was pretty worn out when we got to Battle Creek. And so although the road from Battle Creek to here was mostly flat with a slight incline upwards, for the most part was already spent. And so it was tough with the wind in your face, pedaling uphill slowly.
The only other day that we'll have this much climbing is the last day, which makes me nervous about that one. But the other days are a little more flat in between now and then, even though we do have more miles most of those days. But overall, I'm feeling good at the end of day one. I'm really just excited about the rest of the week. I have a few things I'm nervous about, but I'm trying not to worry about it too much. And I'm just thankful to be here. So
I feel great. I feel like I can do it again tomorrow.
Hopefully tomorrow morning I'll still feel good, and we can just rock and roll. We have 72 miles tomorrow, I think. It's exciting. We'll see you then. For the past 2 years on our 50 states tour, we've had 2 goals in each state. Number 1, tent camp, and number 2, do something unique to that state. I don't think there could be anything more perfect for our 21st state than Ragbrai. And that's a wrap on day 1. Little did we know that bee sting would be the least of our worries.